Hey everybody, I'm Mike Steele with the Pigs and Cows Gone Wild competition barbecue team out of Shreveport, Louisiana. I'm a three-time Louisiana points champion, and I'm also the founder of Barbecue Champs Academy. Welcome to Q and Live. You know, I had a lot of fun Saturday when we did the product review on the lumberjack charcoal, and I was telling you that we was going to come in and do a smoked meatball sub with pepper jack cheese, and I am really excited to get into this. This is a fun recipe. It doesn't take but about 30 minutes, less than 30 minutes to cook. The prep time to do everything, if you're not having to explain it like I'm gonna do today, is usually about 15 minutes. Roll these things up in real small little meatballs about the size of a ping pong ball. Put them on the smoker. It takes about 25-30 minutes to cook them, and just put them in a sub and put the cheese to them. I'm telling you, it is an absolute fun little dish, and we're gonna pack some flavor in these bad boys today. So, I've got all the ingredients kind of laid out, and I'm gonna kind of show you how I go about making them, the prep. What I really like to do is bring what we call flavor bombs. You know, being a competition cook, we don't really cook food that is out of bounds for IBCA, because we're basically cooking for backyard judges. They judges in IBC are right off the street. So these are not some kind of certified judge. So when we cook food, we like it to have nice balanced flavor, little sweet, little heat, little savory, little tang, if we're cooking something that needs a little tang to it. And we're gonna do the same thing with this meatball sub. So the first thing that we're gonna do, I'm gonna end up using, I'm trying to get as much stuff as I can also at Walmart, but this is some 80-20 ground beef chuck. And I've got about 1.25 pounds. That'll make you about 12 to 13 meatballs. It seems like it's about 4 meatballs on a sub sandwich. And I like to just take this, lay it out, get it right up here where you can see everything. I'm gonna pull the cutting board back to get it in the camera a little bit better for you. And I just lay it out. This is about 1.25 pounds of hamburger meat. We're gonna take this and come in, pat it out a little bit, because I like to get my rub on it first. I don't like to season them before I put anything on. I don't even like to put the onions in it. I wanna get my rub in first. So I just kind of pat it out. First thing that I'm gonna get and use is I need a good all-purpose rub. And this is one of my favorite. I've got about 3 all-purpose rubs that I absolutely love, but I absolutely think that this one pairs really, really well with the hamburger meat. Texas Pepper Jelly, it just came out with these about 6 months ago, and this is his APS. It's an all-purpose seasoning. This stuff is great on everything. So that is gonna be my base coat. This is gonna give me my salt, my pepper, my garlic, all the good stuff that we like to flavor the meat. So I've got it all laid out. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come in, I kinda hold it up high, and I want a nice, good, even coat. Because hamburger meat, no seasoning in it. We wanna try to get a good amount of seasoning in that. That's gonna be our base coat. That's the salt, pepper, garlic. That was probably about a tablespoon, maybe a little bit more. Once I get it in, I just kinda push it into the meat. That looks like a lot, but I'm telling you, it's not, because this hamburger meat needs a little bit of seasoning. It has nothing in it. And this is, you got to understand, that's not all salt that I put on. The next one that I'm going to come back with is Crawford's Barbecue. Now, Crawford, this is made by Brian Crawford. He is a competition cook. He has developed some really good rubs that I have recently started using. And one of the ones that he has here is his burnt beef rub. I kind of joke with him on the name, like burnt beef, and he's like, it tastes so good, doesn't it? And I said, yeah, it does. It's really, really good. So we're gonna come back in here and we'll go just a little bit lighter with this. This has got a little bit of nice pepper in it. It's got some really, really good beef notes. It really makes it stand out. So we'll come in here and give it a nice little coat of the beef rub. This is the burnt beef rub by Crawford Barbecue. Now then, once I get that, I'm gonna just kind of smash this into it. Come back over. And then I'm gonna just kind of work it in. I wanna get it nice and worked in even throughout that meat. Looks like I know a lot, but it's really not. Just nice. I want it worked throughout all the meat. And that's why I like to spread it out. I just think it helps with everything, spreading that out and then putting the rub on. By doing that, it just, to me, makes it even where I get that nice even coat. All right, the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna put 1 egg. So we're gonna give it a little hit. I'm gonna put it right in the middle. I like to divot it out. I'll just use my gloves. I'll work this in, break this egg up. And this just works as a nice binder on this meatball, just to keep it together. Because one of the things we're gonna do, we're gonna put a little bit of onion in this. We start putting that onion in it, it sometimes makes that hamburger meat wanna come apart. So I'm just gonna work this in, it gets that meat nice and moist. Another thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna add just a little bit of milk. I'm gonna put about 1/4 cup of milk. And I wanna work that in. Now we're just adding a little bit of moisture to these meatballs. I don't want to overwork it. Last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come in and I'm going to add a little bit of breadcrumb to it, and then I'm going to add some onion. First of all, I'm going to put the onions in it. Now I've got these really fine chopped up. I've got about 1/4 cup here. If you don't like onions, you don't have to use them, but I really love the flavor that onions gives in a meatball. I just think it just goes great. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna put some breadcrumbs. These are just plain Progresso breadcrumbs. And that is about 1/4 cup. And now I've got all of those in it. Once I got that in it, now I'm just gonna work all this together. I want the breadcrumbs worked in. I want the onions worked in it. And just really try to keep this nice, moist, and keep working it. That's the key. Once we get it all mixed up, then we're going to make some nice little meatballs out of it. And one thing about it, you are putting this in a sub sandwich, so make sure that you can get the piece on top in it. I find that when they're about the size of a ping pong ball, that really works well, and it's not too big. So we've got that done. I'm going to get me a pan, set it out, and now we've got everything in it. We got our breadcrumbs in, about 1/4 cup. We got a small egg in. We've got some onion. We got our 3 rubs. And then we're going to just go in, break these off. And I like to just kind of take them, kind of guess your size. Like I said, about the size of a ping pong ball works pretty good. I like to squeeze them together after I break it, and then I'm just going to roll them up. And then I'm put them in my pan. I tell you what, I'm just going to set them out. I got one more little rub that we're going to put on top of it. Pinch it off once again. Get it done, about the size of a ping pong ball, just a little bit bigger, no bigger than a golf ball. Once I get them squeezed in, I'll come in, break off another one. Usually on 1.25 pounds, I can get about 12 to 13 out of it. If I get carried away and I get them a little bit too big, maybe a little small, be a little harder to get in than the sandwich itself, but just go in. If you do, just pull a little bit more of the bread out. I'll show you that when we get done toward the end. But this is a fun recipe to do. Like I said, the prep time is really quick. If we went on and haven't explained it, usually it takes about 15 minutes to prep this up. The cook time today, I've already got some cooked. When I cooked them up, it took about 25 minutes. I want to cook these to about 158 degrees. Then I'm going to immediately take them, put my sauce across the top of them, add the cheese to it, let the cheese melt. I like them finish up about 160 degrees is usually where I like my meat to finish up at on any time that I'm cooking, especially ground chuck, anything like that. I'm looking for about 160 degrees. That's going to be my finished temperature. But one of the things that I do is I want to make dang sure that I allow myself a little carryover temperature. If you're wondering what the carryover temperature is, as these things are cooking, you take this thing to 160, it's going to probably carry over to about 162, 163 degrees. And then all of a sudden you start going past it. You got to be real, real careful with these meatballs. They will go really, really fast, really quick because it is not a very big piece of meat. So we got all these done. Let's see what we got here. Look at there. I said we was going to probably end up with about 12. That's what we're looking at. And now we'll come back. Now then, I've got a nice savory rub, salt. I've got a real good savory rub with the burnt beef, And the APS is my salty base rub. The burnt beef is that nice beefy flavor. And I like to give these one more rub. And the other rub that I like to put on them, I like just a little heat. Now, I'm not a real big heat person, so you got to go careful with this, but boy, this sure does make them taste good. Now, this is BXtreme Devil Dust. BXtreme Devil Dust. This is really good. It's got a little kick to it, so you have to be careful. So what I usually like to do is just come over these, hold it up real high. If you ever wonder sometimes you get rubbed too much on it, the higher you hold these up, the better they are. I'll just take them, set them in the pan. I'll hold it up, kind of go around. A nice little coat. This puts a great little coat on the outside of this. To me, cooking food like this, especially for the backyard, you know, you've got to bring all these little flavor profiles into play. And there's so many different rubs on the market that sometimes it can get confusing. I kind of gravitate toward the rubs that the competition guys have developed, because these guys sell almost 80% of their rubs to the backyard cooker. And to me, that's what we're doing. We're cooking backyard food. I like to just kind of put it in my hand. I like to kind of rotate it around. It sticks to it real nice. It's just a nice little kiss of this. You don't want a lot. This stuff, now if you like hot food, if you like a little kick on it, you can go a little heavier. This is just very well balanced. It'll have just a touch of bite to it, but it won't be bad at all. Like I said, I am not a big heat person. I like everything to be balanced. I want to bite into this. I want to taste a little salt, a little savory. I want just a touch of heat. I want to be able to taste that beefiness that burnt beef rub puts out. These are nice. They're going to work real good for us. We made some earlier and already got them ready, and I'm telling you, I couldn't stop eating that one. Now I got another one I'm going to have to eat. But now I've got them all done. Now I'm going to tell you the key to this. One of the things that I absolutely do all the time is once you make these up and you've handled that meat, the meat starts to get a little bit warmer. These came right out of my refrigerator. I keep my refrigerator around 38 to 40 degrees. That's where I've got it set at. Put these back in the refrigerator. One of the things that we're going to do is we're going to smoke these at 300 degrees. They will cook really fast. So I want as much smoke to get in to that meatball as possible. A lot of people don't know it, but the colder the meat is when it goes on it, it has more time to absorb the smoke. In this case, it's got further to go. If I put that meat in there and it's 38 degrees when it goes on that smoker, it's got to get to 158 degrees. So it's got a longer time in the smoke to get up there. That gives you more smoke. There's a pro tip that a lot of us use in our competition barbecue. If we're only going to cook ribs for 2 hours in smoke and then wrap them, I want that rib to kind of hit it being a little bit colder. I get more smoke into the meat doing that. All the people out there that are cooking on pellet cookers, that is a huge pro tip. Anytime that I'm putting food on a pellet cooker, I want that meat as cold as I can get it, because meat is only going to be able to absorb smoke up to a certain temperature. And after that, it just starts to, if you keep trying to pour the coal to it then and really got too much smoke, yeah, you can get a lot of smoke. If you got smoke barreling out of a pit, that is not what you're looking for. You want that nice, good, clean, thin blue smoke. That is absolutely essential when we're doing this. So that is the recipe. Take these after they're done, put them back in the refrigerator. I like to, after I mix them up, I put them back in the refrigerator for about 2 hours. They're done, they're ready, they're nice, they're cold, and then I can get ready to go and put them on the smoker. So with that said, I've got everything done here. The one other thing that I'm going to show you real quick is I want to get some onions, some bell pepper cut up. So let me move all of this over here, get this out of the way. Another thing that I like to do is kind of season up my bell pepper. Get this out of the way, get over here to this camera where you can see it. And I kind of like to go in and slice up some bell pepper nice and thin. Normally what I do is I'll go in here and cut little 1/4-inch slivers. Just cut these up. I've got some red ones, I've got some yellow ones, I've got some orange ones. I don't like these raw. I like to cook these down. The first thing I'm really going to do is cut these up and go ahead and get them on my smoker. I want these to cook down for about 45 minutes so they'll get nice and tender. That's what I really like. It really helps having good sharp knives. I don't care what you're using. These are Gunnar Wilhelm knives. I absolutely love these. This is their Lightning Pro Cut series, and super sharp. We're going to start getting into some food that meats and proteins and stuff that we got to do that you really got to get in, carve, get the fat off and all that. Make sure that you got some good knives, and if you don't have a good knife set, I highly recommend these Gunnar Wilhelm knives. They're absolutely awesome. So once we get that done, we're going to go in, we're going to put these in. I've already got a few of them cut up. I just wanted to kind of show you how I do it, but drop these in. Next thing I'm going to do is I like to season these with just a little bit of that pepper jelly, Craig at Texas Pepper Jelly all-purpose seasoning. And I like to just come in here and put just a light little sprinkle on top, rotate them around a little bit more, just, oh, that's probably a half a teaspoon. That's about all that is. And the next thing I like to do is I like to put some butter in it. Now we love to use Kerrygold butter. This is the unsalted butter. This is a half a stick. And then what I'm going to do, open this up, and I'm going to put a half a stick of Kerrygold unsalted butter. I'm going to cut it up and put it right up on top of it. Once I get that done, I'm going to wrap it up with a piece of tin foil. I'm going to put it on the smoker, and I'm going to let this get started. A lot of times I'll put this on about 15 or 20 minutes before I put the meatballs on. When I get done, I take this, I wrap it with some tin foil. This is one that I've already got done that was in the cooker. And so you just take a little piece of tin foil, wrap it up real tight. So take a piece of tin foil, put it on, wrap it up really tight, and then put it in your smoker. Let that cook for at least 45 minutes. Keep that tin foil nice and tight, and let those vegetables, those bell peppers, just steam down. Get them nice, soft, and tender. I don't want them mushy, but I want them cooked down a little bit to bring out the flavor in them. So put those on, once again, about 15 minutes before you put the meatballs on. I'm going to figure it's going to take it 300 degrees, about 25 to 30 minutes to cook the meatballs. I like to give these vegetables, these bell peppers, I like to give them about 45 minutes. They get nice and tender. So give them about a 15-minute head start. That's basically it. It's a pretty simple process. One thing we go from here is we will actually get into putting them on the cooker, and I'm going to show you how we're going to go about cooking everything. Once we got them done, I cook these now today on a 22-inch WSM. I use 22-inch WSM smoker. You can cook these on a Weber kettle if you want to as well, but you've got to cook them on indirect heat. But I'm going to show you how to go about doing that. Let's go back over here to our grill, and I'll kind of explain what we got. So what we end up using today is I use lumberjack coal. This is their premium lump. I did a product review on this stuff the other day. I really love this stuff. I put about 4 pounds in the bottom of this. I lit just the center of it with a torch and got just a small little section lit with my torch. If you don't have a torch, you can use a chimney starter. Put just about 2 handfuls in a chimney starter, get it lit, and then just pour it right in the middle. Watch your temperature, let it slowly come up, get it to 300 degrees. Once you get it running about 300 degrees, you're ready to go. I want to put some smoke on this because this is going to be a pretty fast cook. So these are the little chunks that I use from B&B. I like to drop about 3 chunks of hickory wood on it, and these are small little chunks. They're probably about 1 inch by 1 inch. And I just kind of put them right in the middle where it's lit. I don't want to put them way off to the side. Heat, it's going to burn out to it. This is a really quick cook, so I want to put them right in the middle. It looks like a lot of wood, but understand they're only going to be on there for about 30 minutes. I want some pretty good smoke going on these. Once we get that done, we'll just take these meatballs and we'll literally, I take them out of the pan and we're going to put them directly over the coals. I'll usually set my grill up. Once I get my grill on it, I just take these and I put them right in the middle. And I kind of keep them close. Now, if you're cooking these on a regular char grill, 22-inch Weber, something like that, you have to cook these on indirect heat. You do not cook these over direct heat. They'll cook way too fast. You won't get enough smoke flavor in them. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna put one there, put one here, put one more right here. I try to keep them kind of close right toward that center. And that's it. Let these go. If you're cooking these on a Weber grill, you'll want to set it up with indirect heat. And I'll explain how that actually works. If you were setting these up on a grill, and say we just had our grill, what we want to do is go in and we'll put charcoal on one side of it and light it, and on the other side is where we would put the meatballs at. Line them up 2 rows. After about 10-15 minutes, I'll rotate them, because the ones closer, even though you only have some charcoal lit here, the ones closer to this coal is going to get a little bit hotter. So after about 10-15 minutes, I'll rotate them around and just swapping them from one side to the other. That way, the ones that are further from the lit coal, you're getting it a little bit closer. Now then, you want to make sure that you check them for temperature. This is really, really important. We use a thermopen. This is made by Thermopen, or ThermoWorks. It's called a Thermopen MK4. These are instant read thermometers, and they are so critical for any type of cooking that we do. You open it up, it immediately reads the temperature. I mean, I can just rub it. It shows 82 degrees. And you can go in and just rub this thing, and all of a sudden it's up to 84 degrees. So they're very accurate. They're very quick. They typically read within 2 seconds. And that's what I like about them. Now then, you'll want to go in and you'll want to temp these, and you'll want to come in and you'll want to put them right in the middle of the meatball. So I usually check these after about 20 minutes, and I'm going to go in and I'm going to probe it, and I'm just going to go about halfway through it, and I'm going to read it. Right now they're reading 61 degrees, 61 degrees. See how fast, I mean, these things had just came out, so they went from 38 degrees to 63 degrees just from the time that we have started this. That's why I want these things to be 38 degrees. I want them to hit this grill cold, where they'll absorb as much smoke as they can and get nice and brown. You go halfway down in it, and that's where you're wanting to read it. You want to cook these things, like I said, about 158 degrees. Once they get about 158, if you have a couple of them lagging, no big deal. Just let them kind of catch up to the other ones, take them off, put them in a pan, you'll be good to go. But that's all we're doing with this. Just get them nice, brown, smoked. They're absolutely delicious. And to me, that is the perfect thing right there when we do that. With that said, we're getting ready just about here in a few minutes to fire off a sub. I can't wait. Time to get the cutting board out. So I'm going to show you a couple of these that we've already done. I cooked 12 of them earlier. I made a sub already with one. I just couldn't resist. I had to eat one of them because they were so good. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and I'm going to set these out. It's pretty good for a meatball sub, especially the buns that I've got. But I'll take these, lay them out, and then I'm going to come in and put a barbecue sauce on them. Now, one of the sauces that I absolutely love is this BXtreme original barbecue sauce. This is a brand new sauce that he just came out with a few months ago. This is an excellent sauce. It's got a really good balance for this. It's not too sweet. It's got just a touch of sweet, a touch of heat, a little bit of tang. It works so good with this. I typically will take this, I will pour this into a little pan. I will put this on the smoker for about 10 minutes. I don't want to get it real hot. If I get it too hot, I find that it tends to end up wanting to run off the meatball a lot. So I've even taken it sometimes just at room temperature, pour it right across them. We're going to go ahead and do that now. And I'm going to make a mess, so I'm going to come back over here. I'm going to do it inside the pan. And I'm just going to come right across the top of them. Just a nice good coat. Evenly coat them. And then we're going to put some pepper jack cheese on them. You can kind of see what these look like. If you get it too hot, it runs off. That stuff is so good. Then I'm going to put some pepper jack cheese on, whatever brand you like. I like the Sargento. I put 2 slices across the top of it. There's a couple different ways that you can do it. If you want to put them back in the grill when they're hot, if you do this all at once, literally I'm taking these and well, they're done. I take them, I put my cheese on them while they're piping hot, stick them back on the grill, let that stuff continue to cook. We couldn't do that because we wanted these to show you how we doing all this stuff. So once we got all this done, we just took them and dropped them underneath the broiler. I took some earlier today and just put them back on the pit, put a little cover over them, lay a couple slices of cheese right over the top of them, and that's what it looks like. It does not take long. You can put them under a broiler if you want to. That'll melt that cheese in about 4 or 5 minutes. If you want to, you can also put them in the grill. That's how I did mine today. They turned out excellent. Love them that way. That cheese picks up a little bit more smoke too. That's one of the things that I really, really like. Now then, got all that done. Next thing we're fixing to do is we're going to make a sandwich. Let's see how hot this is. Oh yeah, it's nice and hot. Man, don't that look good? Don't that look good? I have a lot of fun cooking. To me, it's relaxing to sit around. Got family and friends over. Now, I got these at Walmart. These are just a Subway roll, bun. I'm going to go grab that one right out of the middle. Pull it apart. If you want to heat these up a little bit, you can. I normally do. I don't ever take them straight out. I'll always put them back on the, just a few minutes. Go in, gonna take my knife and just go in and kind of V it down. Go all the way down with it. Come around. Once again, a good sharp knife really helps. Kind of open that up. I find that the deeper I get it, when I start getting big meatballs, they fit down in it a whole lot better. So be careful with that. V it out. Smash it down. Got everything here. I don't know how hot these are. Now then, we're going to add a little sauce. I know we've already added a little bit of sauce across the top of those. I love this sauce. I'm going to drizzle some sauce right down through the middle of it. Over here on this side. I want it to get down in that bread. Man, that's good. We're going to go in here. Got that nice ooey gooey cheese. We're going to drop that right in there on top of them just like that. Look at that. Yummy. Sorry, had to do it. Push them down in there. Not going to hurt a thing. Now then, we got some peppers. These are some peppers that we had done earlier. They've been cooking down in that butter. I like them cooked down. I'll go in and I'll just lace me some peppers right down through on each side. Lay them across the top. Get this out of the way where you can kind of see it. I love me some cooked bell peppers. They're really good. No matter how many you put as many of them as you want. Set these out of the way. That's really it. If you wanted to drizzle a little bit more sauce across the top, you could. I'll go in and give that a little smash. I'm going to set this out of the way. Man, this looks so good. Now then, we got that done. Nothing is finish without a little bit of pepper. Make it pretty. I love me a little pepper with a sandwich like this. A smoked meatball sub. Go in, push that down, get done with it. See if I can find me a good carving knife. I like to go in, cut that in half. And that, my friends, is what it's all about. A perfect meatball sub. Got some nice peppers to go along with it. The whole process from start to finish is pretty quick. We'll turn this over here where you can take a look at this. Oh, my pepper's running off on me. That's what it's all about. We'll open this up where you can see it. Good moist meatball. Got just a right amount of sauce. That to me is what it's all about. We'll turn this back around. And now we're going to give this a bite. Man, I can't wait. This is what it's all about. Look at the juice. Man, it just don't get no better than that. I had to go in for another bite. Get that. Little pepper to go along with it. I hope everybody's enjoyed this. I know it's been a lot of fun. COVID's got us all stuck at home. We're all looking for different recipes. We're going to try to bring you a competition-worthy backyard recipe. We may try to pop in we're going to try to do them every Monday at 6 o'clock Central. There may be something I decide I want to eat. I may just throw the camera up, film it, show you what we're going to do. Our whole game plan is to always try to bring you a rub and a sauce that is going to complement the protein and that is how we create flavor bombs. There's so many rubs out there. You walk in the store and just you get overwhelmed. So we're going to try to narrow it down for you. Hey, here's some rubs that we're going to use. A lot of these we'll use over again. All the different rubs. I'm sure you can see over here all the rubs that we have behind us. As a competition cook, I probably have 50 different manufacturer rubs. We go through all of them. We try them. We find out the absolute best. We know what pairs well with certain proteins, and that's the ones that we're going to put on our meat no matter what. I hope everybody's enjoyed it. It's been a lot of fun. Join us tomorrow night as we go live. We talk to some of our barbecue pitmasters at BBQChamps.com. Barbecue Champs Academy is the world's first online tell-all competition barbecue cooking school featuring world champion pitmasters and state grill masters. We have some of the best in the world. Big names. Robbie Royal was on Barbecue Pitmasters. We have him on here. We got 6-time world champion Mark Lambert, Joey Smith, Craig Sherry, Sterling Smith with Luton Booty Barbecue. If you like the veteran, he is an awesome guy. He's got a rub himself. We use a lot of Luton Booty stuff. Shout out to my boy Luton Booty. Sterling, some product as well. We got some state grill masters that are phenomenal. John Lindsay, Terry Roan, Shauna Rapolo, Alan Newton, Ty Machado. All of these guys are amazing. They will show you how to cook an amazing ribeye steak. And we also do some backyard stuff as well, like pork chop and pork steaks. Got some different things that we cook there. Hey, I hope everybody's enjoyed it. If you're following us here on Facebook, great. But we also want you to go over there and subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. We're going to throw up videos over there occasionally also. Subscribe to it. Hit that like button, ring that bell, let us know what you think about it. And if you get a chance, you want to comment on these things, let us know. We'll try to go back, answer any questions that you have throughout this little series that we did today. It's been a lot of fun for me. Have a lot of fun and smoke on.